So at the beginning, yesterday I was trying to understand. I was talking to myself and taping these audios, and I was saying something about the evilness that could be for omission, which is something that I supposed to be doing, but I am not doing it. What is I'm going to say omission, but that's the word in Spanish to something that I should be doing but I didn't, and from action. So this is the two types of evilness, and that evilness, because it's evil, is broken at least in two pieces. So we can see that something that is bad is fractionated in four. In the other hand, something that is good is perfect. And if something is perfect, it's not broken. And if it's the most highest way of perfection, it means that nothing else can be equal to that. And somehow is one. So in this math, or in this thing that I'm describing, the evilness can be at least divided in four, and the good is one because it's perfect. Yes. So under this thing, I was thinking, mixing the Christian perspective that if the one, the creator, was one at the beginning, somehow he mixes himself, or he explodes itself, and he creates the angels. And somehow some of the angels say yes, and some of the angels say no. The ones that says no are described in the Bible as a third part of the stars or something like that. I don't remember exactly the number, but it was like one part of three or four parts. I need to check out that number. Is it 3 parts of the stars? It was 3 parts of the star. I need to check out that number. It's not really important for me right now, but there was a number. There was a number of stars. That numbers of stars somehow were on Earth. Seems like for me that the dust of the stars are represented in the angels that says no. Once the angel says no, God gives another opportunity of the being to be in time and space. So, yesterday I was thinking on the possibility on God fixing the world from time and space. But then I realized that probably time and space was not the procedure that he was using to fix it, but the scenario where that thing was performing, the fixing was performing. So time and space is just the scenario where the thing is being fixed. And right now, today, I just realized what could it be exactly the procedure where that thing is actually getting fixed. So what we have is uh, we have the four ways of evilness. But when we say evilness, it doesn't mean that there are. It's not like the Marvel Avengers or things that, oh, he's evil, he's bad, he's evilness in metaphysics means something that requires the embracement of others in order to be, which is another way to say that something is not free. It doesn't have liberty. Since what we understand about liberty and life is free movement, when you see a stone or a flower, they have some kind of movement. The flower has a movement because he has a life. The stone doesn't. So you can understand that the stone is not alive and the flower is. So we understand life as something that has movement inside. When a person is not a slave of others or a slave of anything surrounding it, we can say that the type of life that he's having is an elevated mode of life, because it's more than a plant that is somehow submitted by the condition of the environment. The person is free to somehow determine their own destiny. It's not that way, really, but somehow is something that they can change in their way of she life. So we can understand that freedom is very much close from what we call life in the most complex, elevated ways. This is very important to understand liberty, because we will see at the end that the whole process of creation is a process of more the limit form of freedom that God is trying to find out from Himself. I'm going to explain that right now because I just wanted to do that. It was going to be at the end, but I'm not really sure how this is going. But I was just turning off the TV and put it on the channels, and there was something that the person that is working on theater was saying, and says, my family was not really sure about me going on theater. Because they really don't understand how theater can actually be good for the family, and we were on these supermarkets just to steal things. And it reminds me of a person who used to do some theater that has a lot of friends or persons who were surrounding him, and the type of relationship that he was having with them, it seems to be that they were friends. But it seems like he was actually, the person surrounding him was just like this person's on theater was saying. We were there just to see what we can steal from that. It seems like the friends or the persons who were surrounding him were just surrounding him because they just want to try to steal something from him. And that was the reason why they were close from him, because they want to know what they can steal from that. So from that thought, I was thinking, what's the reason why God created the world? I mean, when we think on that, it's a ridiculous thing, because God doesn't need nothing. God really doesn't need nothing. So we can base our statement on the absurd. But let's make that statement again. What if He does need something? What if He was actually looking for something? What could it be that he was trying to find out from the creation. And I thought, well, the being is there. And what he is having from us is that he's sharing his being with the non-being, which is the zero, right? The combination of the creator with the zero make the existence the way we have. And all of us somehow are this different kind of combination of the being in the non, in the zero, in the nothing, that creates the world that we have it. So what we can have from that is that probably God wants to know what it feels to be not in the being, in the nothing. And then under this analysis, I was thinking, why would I want to be in a place when I am not? And that's the basis of the definition. When you are in a party and you feel yourself that you don't belong, you understand that that's not your environment. That's not your thing. So in the contrast, you're able to see yourself, to define yourself and say, this body is not for me. I don't belong here. I don't feel, no me encuentro. In Spanish is no me encuentro. In this, no me hallo. I can't find myself here, which means I don't like this body. This is not for me. Maybe, and God maybe needs that to understand. Maybe he doesn't. First of all, maybe God doesn't need that because he doesn't need anything. But in the absurd case that he actually needs something, maybe he needs the freedom of being and not being to see the differences and understand himself and define himself, put some limits on him, which is what we have in the apocalypses in the Christian perspective. God found his limits. La copa está rebasada. This is the limits of God. It seems, I don't know if you have saw the movie of Will Smith, that he has Hancock, the girlfriend says, tell me crazy, just one more time. And that cuckoo that he says, and cuckoo, like saying it, you're crazy. That's the thing, the limit that the other person needs to find out the enough straight in contrast to be herself. I'm not crazy, but if you want to call me crazy, I will. And there's another thing in the Bible that says, I will judge you with your own words. It says, because you are a person that trying to find fruits in a place that you didn't work on it. Well, I'm not that. But if you say I am, then I'm going to judge you with your own words. I'm going to be that you think I am. That's another thing that I've been working on my papers, on how God, of course God knows everything, God is perfect, but if something was away of his possibilities, is the evilness. So he needs to know how the good thing, he already knows how the good things will go, but he don't know how the bad things will. So this is an absurd, of course, because God knows everything, and he already knew how the things were going to happen at the end, and how the world is going to be, and that's the reason why we have prophecies, and the reason why we have the Bible write it on what will be the reaction of God. But all of that is on time, passing, going through, and it's an ongoing process that it's made until today, in an ongoing process that is changing. And just because he doesn't have the limit of time and space, he's able to see everything happening and react in that order. But it doesn't mean that he is making that happen. It's something that he knows because he doesn't have the limit of time and space. So it's a reaction that he is not moving. I mean, let's see this. If I have, this is an example. I am the creator, right? So I am the creator, and I have an ice cream. This is an ice cream. So this could be a strawberry or chocolate ice cream. If it's a strawberry or chocolate ice cream, I know how this is going to taste. And I am certainly that I will like it. But if this ice cream is made of flowers, like this flower that I don't want to cut but is here, if the ice cream is made from flowers or from something else, like this turtle that is here interrupting my video. If the ice cream is from the flavor of the turtle, I don't know if I like it or not. So God knows the flavor of the strawberry and chocolate ice cream, and he knows that he's going to like it. But the truth is that if someone makes an ice cream from the turtle, which is cruel, but it's a thing that could happen, I honestly don't know if I'm going to like it. If I am God, I got the chance to prevent that and say, oh, if you get an ice cream from the turtle, you won't like it. But not because I know that like the strawberry and the chocolate, because it's a good thing, it's a legitimate thing, something that I already taste. But because I already have no limit on time and space, and I already saw you tasting that ice cream and you didn't like it. But I have to see you tasting it because it's something new. So the evilness is something new for God. For a perfect God, the evilness is something new. That is a lack of something that he has. So even if it's an absurd to say that we can actually teach God something, the reality is that the nothing or the possibility of having the chance to get related with the nothing, it gives him the opportunity to know his limits, which is something that God doesn't have because he's omnipotent. He doesn't have limits. So the limits of God in the nothingness, in the zero, somehow define him the same way this woman is trying to define herself. Like, I'm cool, I can survive this, but if you call me crazy one more time. So she's like saying, well, okay, you want to push my buttons, you want to go through that. I can define myself. I can see there what could it be my limit, or how extremely furious I can get. And the next part is going to go in another video.